Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Reftaco, and today we're back with another video on the Reftaco Eagles channel, and the Eagles just lost 24-21 to the Patriots in the second week of this preseason. Just going to go over the game. I think that there's a lot of promising things about this game. Yes, we lost, but do I really care? No, nobody should. But in the first half, we saw a lot of good stuff from guys that will be playing regular season reps. I think we saw a huge upgrade in the play calling and the play design. And I think that Sean Mannion had a really nice day. And I do think that there are a lot of positives to go over. I think this was a good and intriguing football game, especially because the joint practices didn't sound the best. So it's good that we come out here, play pretty well in this preseason game, even though we don't win. And so, yeah, got some stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. The number one thing that I want to talk about is the play design. Sean Mannion moved up to the booth for this game, and it was significantly better. We saw just some cool stuff being used, and this is the vanilla offense. This is the most dumped down offense that there is. This is these are the studs. This is the foundation to what we can do, and yet there was still a lot of positive stuff. And what I don't think that we are getting is really concepts that are being read. You're getting a lot of one-on-one matchups because you want to see, hey, can this guy make a play? And if he can't make a play, then that's a problem. But if he can, that's important. And they do that for not only the receivers, but the offensive line. They run pretty equally. You know, you're going to get a run where you're the guy that's got to go over two gaps or, set the edge well, block down, be the puller. You got to do the important stuff. But I think overall, the sequencing and things like that, it's not going to be perfect, and the play design isn't going to be amazing. We are still just going to get, basically an attempt for one-on-one matchups. They tried multiple times last game where it was just, hey, get the ball to Darius Cooper and see what he can do. And he couldn't do it against the Ravens, but he had a really nice game this week. I mean, a few of the throws were bad, but overall, the studs just look really promising. The way that you saw, there was one time Darius Cooper was running a drag and he was matched up with a linebacker. There was one time Stowers was wide open on a corner route and there was like a safety back here and Stowers flattened it out. 21-year-old Eli Stowers flattened it out, which is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to run to green grass, and Andy Dalton throws it where the safety is, and then he leads him too far and the ball's like a little over him. But I think that overall, you were able to see guys get open with the vanilla stuff, with the vanilla scheme, and it just looks drastically different. We saw the screen game. The screen game was great. We saw, the slip screen to Carson Steele where it was the first time he jumped over someone, then the screen to Covey that he went into the end zone for. It just felt like we were watching not what the Eagles have given us the past, since Steichen left, but really since Doug left. It just looked different and it looked good. And this is the foundation. We see under center work. It's going to be fun to see this with Jalen Hurts, especially because these backup quarterbacks were not good at it. But I think that there is just so much that we can take from this to say, hey, what we were asking for, which is Kevin Patullo gone, but we need a whole offensive overhaul. We need Nick to not have power because the last two times that he kind of took more say in the offense, it was Brian Johnson, it was Kevin Patullo, and it was awful. So it seems like this guy Sean Mannion is running his offense. It seems like it is different, and different from last year. It's almost impossible for it to be worse. This is not last year, but in 23 when Nick had the offense, remember CMC was on the Manning cast? It was like, yeah, this is a QB draw to the left. And it was a QB draw to the left. Last year, it was so predictable. And you don't get that predictability with those offense. Just having a different offense, it's just going to be so much better. And it just looks so much better out there. And this is just the studs. If we can add some cool stuff to this, if we can get some pre-snap motion, baked into this that we didn't see much. We saw like shifts where they go from 3-1 to 2-2, some little things like that. But if we can get real pre-snap motion and create real mismatches, we're looking at receivers on corners right now. We're looking at tight ends on safeties and backers. When we get wide receivers on linebackers, like we did once this game with Darius Cooper, it's going to be a problem. If we can put some cool stuff into this base, this is going to be an amazing offense. So I have just a lot of positives about the way that this offense looked, and it just looked really good. The one negative that I have is the quarterback play. Andy Dalton sucks, and Tanner McKee was not much better, but I think he just has to be your backup quarterback. I think Andy Dalton was brought in because he kind of knows the system, and he's kind of played in one of these offenses before, where both Jalen and Tanner McKee have not, so he can kind of develop them and kind of be, another person in Jalen Hurts' ear, but in a good way, because usually you hear like there's too many guys talking to him. But a guy in that quarterback room, that is going to be a positive to him. He sucks at football. There were like 4 times that he rolls out and just dirts it. Like, even if no one is open, run. And that's what's good, is that I think in these plays where you get Jalen Hurts moving and Andy Dalton dirts it, Jalen Hurts runs. Jalen Hurts makes a play, because that's what Jalen Hurts is, and that's what this offense is structured around. Which is also why I don't think Cole Payton is awful to be a backup quarterback, because he can also make a play out of those rollouts and stuff the way Tanner nor Andy can. Neither of them can do that. But the throws were just off. It just didn't look good. Like, the timing was good. The throws were just not. And it felt like when Andy Dalton had pressure in his face, he just gave up. It's the preseason. You're 38 years old. Do what you want. Like, maybe this seems kind of stupid to you. You're fighting for my backup quarterback. Me, as a fan, I'm watching you fight for my backup quarterback spot, and you're rolling, and you see a guy, and you go, and you spike it into the ground? No. Tanner McKee, I think, played a little bit better. I feel like he tried to make some plays, and he had a few nice throws. He had one to Stone Smart late that was good. There were just plays with Tanner McKee that were a little bit better, and Dalton had like a nice in route to Darius Cooper. But it felt like overall Tanner played the better game, and Tanner did not have a 30% completion rate. That might have been because they were throwing a lot shorter passes, a lot more screens and things like that. But I think he had the better day, and I think that that's your quarterback too. But they both just didn't play well, and then Cole Payton comes in for 2 plays and gets strip sacked. So it was not a good day for the quarterbacks. That's simple. I think just some other things to look at. I'm not upset at the defense. We got just very small amount of real starters that are playing. I think Espinosa made a play in pass coverage maybe. Ebikidi didn't do anything. Trotter just feels like he's always out there doing his job and doing it pretty well. There was the long Tommy DeVito run where he maybe could have came up earlier, and because of that he got blocked and DeVito had a big lane. But I think Jeremiah Trotter played well. I think all the guys that are important played well. Michael Carter, I don't think allowed a catch. It felt like they were picking on backups. Ambry Thomas got torched for a 75-yard touchdown. Oh no, Ambry Thomas. What are we going to do? Ambry Thomas stinks. I don't care. He better not get a snap this year. Actually, all things considered, besides the drop on the first play of the game, Ringo played all right. But it just felt like the guys that were expecting something from, they did their job. Darius Cooper had 3 catches, but 3 solid catches, was able to get some run after catch on one. Nice third down conversion on one. I think it was all of Andy Dalton's completions were to Darius Cooper. And then Eli Stowers didn't do much. But Will Shipley had a solid game. The O-line was great. Lampkin, oh my God, I love Willie Lampkin so much. He's a dog. Drew Kendall, dog. It was either Drew Kendall and Lampkin or Majors and Lampkin. I don't think Majors is that good. That doubled, like, it was a touchdown run, and they doubled this guy to the backer and like 9 yards back. That's what you need. Markel Bell is a dog. He uses that frame so well in pass protection, and even though he's a big guy, you might expect him to be slower. He moves his feet well enough to keep up with guys because of his size and because of the fact that, I mean, like, you have width. If you have more width, it's harder for the guy to get by you. So the O-line played amazing. When we get, late in the game, I don't care. There were two, who were the guys that came out on the Covey screen, played really well. Connor Williams and Michael Jordan played good. But, there were positives. There are guys that if we have to have a backup offensive lineman step in, I'm cool with it. We saw Brett Toth step in last year for Cam Jurgens and probably play better than Cam Jurgens did. And so when you have backup offensive linemen like that, it's important, especially because, I mean, these guys are not durable. And Lane Johnson's old. I think Markel Bell steps in. He does a good job because Markel Bell has stepped in and done a great job. Who are other people I want to talk about? Ty Robinson, the Vanilla Gorilla. I think he got 2 sacks today. But he just keeps making plays. We saw Vic Fangio talk about he was on life support, and he's showing some signs of life. It seems like he is. It seemed like we just forgot about him. Their 4th D tackle was Byron Young last year, and it really seems like Ty Robinson is coming on to where at the end of this year, you probably get rid of Moro Ajomo, and you have Ty Robinson step in there. And you go through this cycle again. You did it with Milton Williams, now Morrow. Then you'll do it with Ty Robinson. Then hopefully you'll do it with Uar Bernard. But it seems like we're able to pump out these guys because of Clint Hurt. Clint Hurt is a dog, the D-line coach. I just love what he does. We need to keep him around, especially for the development of Uar. Speaking of him, Uar didn't have a great game. I think he got one nice tackle on a counter where he pushed the guy in, and he missed a TFL. He dove at his ankles and didn't get it. But you can just tell, when a guy has never played football, sometimes he's kind of clueless. Where's the ball? He doesn't have the instincts that just the natural instincts that a lot of these guys have because he hasn't played. I mean, everybody in the NFL, you get 4 years of high school. Sometimes you get 6 years of college nowadays. It's going to be a struggle for him. Joshua Weiroo, is that his first name? The other IPP guy. He had a sack. He's a dog. There were a lot of good things that we saw from young guys, and I was upset because they kept playing Blay he wore 64, and the dude that wore 78. And it's we don't care about these dudes because there were other dudes that might be part of this future that were making plays. And then the last guy that I have to talk about is Carson Steele. Carson Steele had a great game, and I really hope that we can keep him around. I think that if there's a spot to keep him, it might be that fullback-y role because he's such a big guy, but he just seems explosive, and he just seems fun, and it seems like if you let him go, he's going to get picked up. We saw him with the Chiefs. I think Pacheco got hurt, and he was splitting reps with Old Kareem Hunt for a few games. And he played well. Now he comes to the Eagles. We can't let this guy go because he's going to get picked up to somebody else's 53. But are we really going to keep 4 running backs? I don't know. That's where that fullback idea stems from because I hope that you can do something like that. So, yeah, he had a nice game. A lot of people had nice games. Carson Steele, 1 hurdle. 2nd hurdle on the touchdown. That was great. Anything else I want to cover? Oh, a lot of the starters didn't play. A lot of the fringe starters didn't play. 2 guys that I saw didn't play and 1 guy that did. Elijah Moore, Hollywood Brown did not play. Darius Cooper did. And I don't know. I mean, everything that we've heard in camp is Darius Cooper's a dog. Do they think this highly of Elijah Moore to where that's another guy that makes the team? Then how are you going to have Covey here? Then you have 7 receivers. It just feels like Darius Cooper, who's playing amazing, who had an amazing camp, who who is one of our best run-blocking receivers, which I think can be important in Mannion's offense, is just kind of getting left out. And I thought Elijah Moore was going to be the guy that was getting left out. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that receiver situation. It's going to be interesting for a lot of things. We really haven't gotten many answers this preseason, but I am still happy with what we saw in this game from Mannion, from a lot of our players. I think a lot of them had pretty nice games. Chance Campbell was all over the ball today, I felt like. Yeah, just some nice games. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. And that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see y'all probably for a preseason week 3 recap. But in the next one. Peace.